mean, let's say that the whole trip cost me $1,500, $2,000. If I set 4 appointments and I took 3 listings and each commission's, let's say $15,000, my $1,500 investment yielded me $45,000. So I'll gladly do that. So if this event costs you, let's say $50, $100 for a day or 2-day event, and you can set a lot of appointments, build up your confidence, why not? Don't preview properties just to preview properties. When you do a preview, go with a goal in mind. Don't just stroll through their house, check it out, what a beautiful kitchen, lovely living room, what an amazing pool. You walk out and you say bye. What are you doing? Do the research once you set the appointment. Definitely don't do it before, because you could find yourself 75% of your prospecting time is doing research. We figure out clever ways to not prospect. We think of the darndest things, and usually it's masked under research. That's called creative avoidance. You're figuring out a creative way to avoid making phone calls. Amazing things happen when you talk to people. You just have to keep talking to people all the time, and wonderful things will happen. Who was here at the event 2 months ago? Is this an upgrade or what?
Yes.
Yes. So my vision is for this to keep getting bigger to where there's more agents, we have more space, more tables in the hallway that are appropriate. And if we need more space, we'll get the whole damn ballroom. It doesn't matter, right? I want a place where agents can come together and be in an environment where you're hearing other agents make phone calls, set appointments, and create a better living. Because at the end of the day, that's why I'm doing this. I want to be the East Coast boot camp. And I know I can't do this alone. I have a lot of you in this room that have been helping along the way, and continue to spread the word as far as to what we're doing here. There's no upsell here. There's no upsell. I'm not trying to sell you anything else. I'm not trying to sell you coaching. I'm not trying to sell you, right, my CDs, my books. There's no cross-selling. This is just a place where we can all get together. Me personally, I love boot camps. So maybe I did this out of me being selfish. The only other boot camp that I know of that's super well established is in the West Coast, in Vegas. I don't know about you all, but I don't like jumping on a flight, having a 3-hour difference. It's not very practical. However, I did it, and I did it often because the results I would have after 2 days of prospecting, I mean, let's say that the whole trip cost me $1,500, $2,000. If I set 4 appointments and I took 3 listings and each commission's, let's say $15,000, my $1,500 investment yielded me $45,000. So I'll gladly do that. So if this event costs you, let's say $50, $100 for a day or 2-day event, and you can set a lot of appointments, build up your confidence, why not? Okay. So upgrade, 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 right? That's what we're going to keep looking for. What's that? Kasaya Center 2027. All right, so I'm curious with the prospecting calls. I'd love to hear some wins. Anybody have any wins that they'd like to share with the room? An appointment that was set, just something that you'd want to share.
Appointment with Facebook.
Were you voluntold? I think that was voluntold, right?
Exactly.
So what was that? You said what?
An appointment with Facebook.
Okay, nice, good job. And I'm gonna circle back to that FISBO in a second. Any other wins? I heard the bell go off like 5 or 6 times, so I want to hear some feedback.
I've set 2 appointments out of 11 conversations. First one was all expired from 2018, that I met twice, but now he's like completely done and he needs bigger house. Kids grew up, so they cannot be in the same room anymore. And the second one was a cash salary, so someone that engaged to a cash offer, and we continued conversation. But I set expectation, and I told him, you're going to get more retail, and I'm going to present you both scenarios, and on Thursday at 6 p.m. you decide which route.
So I heard three things there. One is, since 2018, did you all hear that? That's a 7-year follow-up. That's pretty incredible. Wow. 2018 follow-up. The last thing you said was, yes?
That means I'm not good on it. It took me 7 years.
Sooner or later. You mentioned at the end, give them 2 offers. I want to make sure that everybody fully gets what he means when he says by giving them 2 offers. Who does not know what that means? Raise your hand. Explain what 2 offers means.
So in the last 2 years, I started presenting 2 solutions for the homeowners. One is going traditional in the market, where they value more money than time, and I show them traditional route, hiring me as an agent. And then the second one is hiring me as an investor, not going on the market, flexible time frame, flexible closing, but they also get a wholesale price. And I tell them that. Like last year, I had a flip where the guy valued more time and term because he had the tenants for 40 years in that property. So 3 generations of the same family lived in his house. He's like, listen, I don't want them to go on the market. He actually ended up giving them over $10,000 so they can move out. And I ended up buying a house with 2 investors that are my friends, and we ended up flipping it. So those are 2 solutions.
Those 2 options, who here can not stomach the idea of going to a seller and telling them, I'm going to give you 2 options? Who cannot stomach that? Who thinks that's impossible? What's that? I guess that rain's coming down really hard now, isn't it? Him or me? Both of me. Okay. Okay, so Mate is saying that he had a prospect, he gave them 2 offers. And I asked him what he meant by 2 offers. And the 2 offers is you offer them basically to purchase their property as an investor, or you tell them what you can get them for their property if it were to go to the open market, like full retail listing. And you might think, well, why would they take a cash investor deal? Some sellers, as Mate mentioned, was willing to sell it for a discount. So what's the number? How much do you offer them wholesale? I'm going to give you a rule of thumb. 65% of whatever the market's worth. You might need to partner up with an investor. Mate, myself, whoever, you know it's a real estate investor, you can go there and give them those 2 offers. And if you get super creative, you can get the property into contract in your own name. This is for the more savvy person. You purchase the property, you get the contract in your own name, and you sell it to an investor in the meantime before the closing. And you can make 10, 20, 30,000 bucks just by selling that contract to another investor. That's another class though.
Can I pitch something quickly?
Sure.
On YouTube, Miami Association YouTube channel, I did a class on flipping homes. But I'm not pitching that class. There's a bunch of great resources with Miami YouTube channel. And if you want certain type of education, you can just go and look at their library. You're going to see my funny face on a few of them. Yeah.
Miami Association of Realtors YouTube page.
Yeah.
Mate did a class.
Yeah. The one is on flipping. It's you type Miami Realtors YouTube.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to Mate after this training today, and maybe we grab him one day. We'll have a little breakout in a much smaller room, and he can train you all on what to do with flips. Would you like that?
Yeah.
There's the man. So there's no need to speak to him later. He said yes.
We fly security.
All right, cool. That's very valuable. Any other wins? One more win. We'll take one more win and we'll keep moving on. I heard a few more dings of the bell. Yes?
I have a client who wants to rent this out, and after I spoke to him, he has another one for 2.
Very nice. I could be wrong, but I think today is officially her first day prospecting. Is that right?
I've been doing this for many years.
I'm saying prospecting for clients, sellers today. So that is awesome. Yes. Amazing things happen when you talk to people. You just have to keep talking to people all the time, and wonderful things will happen. Are you voluntolding your son right now? Is that what's happening?
Yes, I'm volunteering my son.
Go.
I have an appointment with physical tomorrow.
FSBO appointment tomorrow. Okay. Nice. And I said I'm going to circle back to you with FSBOs. I want to have a serious conversation with you all about previews. When you do a preview, go with a goal in mind. Don't just stroll through their house. Check it out. What a beautiful kitchen. Lovely living room. What an amazing pool. You walk out and you say bye. What are you doing? Pre-qualify the person before you even get there. Pre-qualify the seller. You know what? I know you're having an open house on Saturday at 2:30, because they want to invite you to their open houses, right? Because they're being efficient too. They've learned their scripts. So Saturday at 2:30, come by, check out my open house. That's awesome. I'm glad to check out your open house on Saturday at 2:30. If you don't mind me asking, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, once this property is sold, where are you going to next? That's question number one. Second is, in the outside chance, you can't sell this home on your own, are you open to the possibility of hiring an agent to help you sell your home? What's the key phrase there? In the outside chance you can't sell it on your own. They're probably not going to sell it on their own, but you don't want to be a jerk about it, right? In the outside chance you can't sell it on your own, are you open to hiring an agent? One of two things is going to happen. You either have a chance or you don't have a chance. They could say, my spouse is a real estate agent. Come hell or high water, I'm not going to use a real estate agent. I'd rather chew my own arm off before using the service as a real estate agent. They can say whatever they're going to say. And based on those 2 or 3 questions you ask them, you either go or don't go. Don't preview properties just to preview properties. Don't preview properties just to preview properties. Go in with a systematic approach and a game plan to doing it. And if you're not going to do it, that time that you're spending jumping in your car, running comps, doing all this crazy stuff that you do for these previews, how many hours are you spending doing that? If you were to spend those same 2, 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, prospecting people from your cell phone, you've got 2 leads, your first day prospecting, calling people from your phone. If you were to spend those 2, 3, 4 hours calling people, having conversations, and if you do that 2, 3 times a week, 2, 3 previews, you've spent 8 to 12 hours talking with people on the phone who have no intention of listing with you. Okay, moving on.
May I?
What's that? Please.
As a newer agent, which he's a new agent, you may want to do a couple of previews, not all every day, all day, but to check out the inventory, to get your foot in the door, to check, to see it. That may be a possibility. Not every day, every day.
So this is the amiable personality style. This is the driver personality style.
But he's excited.
And both approaches work.
Yeah.
Both approaches work. I think the longer you do this, the more success you have in this business, the less your tolerance for BS. Probabilities. It's probabilities. It's all probabilities. You call 1,000 expireds. You call 1,000 past clients COI, SOI. What do you think is going to yield you 4 or 5 times the results? COI, SOI. Past clients. 10 times out of 10. Okay, I'll keep moving. We talked about the previews. So if someone says in this prospecting session that you just had, if someone says you dial the wrong number, who has a systematic response for you dial the wrong number? I want to hear them. If you could speak up as loud as you can.
Do you have any other real estate needs or questions I can answer for you at the moment?
Okay. Do you have any other real estate needs that I can help you with at the moment? Anything else?
This isn't mine actually, but Jessica on our team.
Okay.
I talked up with her and she says, wow, do you know how you might have been associated with this property or this person? And sometimes that develops a nice conversation versus going straight to the
Okay. Did everyone hear that? If you could say it again louder.
Yeah, so one of our team members says, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Do you have any idea how you got associated with this person, this phone number, this address? And then you develop, sometimes they say, I have no idea. And then you can go say something of the other nature too. But sometimes it develops a conversation.
If I have a wrong number, I'm taking advantage of that phone call. 100%. I'm taking advantage of it. They say, it's very similar to what you just said. They say, I don't know who that is. That is so weird. I have no idea why somebody gave me your phone number. Do you have anything to do with 123 Banana Street? Sometimes they say, you know what, I used to live there. Or that's my brother's house, or that's my whoever.
I heard that you wanted to sell the house.
What's that?
I heard you wanted to sell the house.
I was told. Who told you that then? So again, turn that wrong number into a possibility. That's weird. I'm not sure why they would have passed on your phone number to me. If you don't mind me asking, since I have you on the phone, because I'm a big believer of everything happens for a reason. I may be speaking to you right now for a reason. And again, this is acting, guys. This is the same thing we're doing again and again and again. They say it's a wrong number, you go into the same pitch. I'm a big believer of everything happens for a reason. Maybe you and I are talking for a reason. Would you have any interest whatsoever in the purchase or selling of any property in Miami that I can help you with today? It's a low probability, but I'd rather do that, count it as a contact, than just hang up the phone and say, sorry, wrong number, bye. Take advantage of the phone call. So, distractions. I'm seeing this in the hallway a lot. As I stand there, watching you all call, I'm hearing a lot of silence. And I was talking to Anna about this, is that while we're prospecting, we figure out clever ways to not prospect. We think of the darndest things. And usually it's masked under research. Let me check out this property's information before I get them on the phone. Let me see if it was listed before. Let me see if it's listed now. What did they sell it for? How many square feet is it? You get into all of this intense research, and you dial the person, and then they don't answer the phone. The example I gave earlier is, imagine you're going to see a doctor, but you're not their patient yet. You think they're going to go through all of your medical records? No. That's what we're doing with research. Do the research once you set the appointment. Do the research once you set the appointment. Don't do it. Definitely don't do it before, because you could find yourself 75% of your prospecting time is doing research. And what's going to happen is that there's no way you can hit 25 to 30 contacts a day. No way in hell if you're doing research. How do you do it? You just keep plowing through the calls. Keep plowing through the calls. One after the other. And we talked in the past about how do you do that. I think the cell phone is the biggest distraction. I see a lot of you like looking at your phones, and you're not looking for your phones, through your phones, for more contacts to call. You got a text message, you're checking something else out. Marcus and I have talked about this in the past. That's called creative avoidance. Mm-hmm. You're figuring out a creative way to avoid making phone calls. I'm looking at each one of you. Oh, you're doing it. Mm-hmm. That creative avoidance is a serious thing. So, yes. And Barclay was telling me that he creates a bunker. Barclay, what do you mean by a bunker in your calling area?
A bunker is something that you can't get out of. So have everything you need, food, water, everything you need just in the area.
Correct. Because if, depending on where you're working from, you can say, oh, let me go get some coffee. Let me stop your prospecting. Oh, let me go get some water. Let me go do this. Let me go do that. And that's all time that you're not prospecting. So bunker is an awesome idea. I heard of somebody that they would get like like this whole surfing cord thing. They'd tie it to their ankle and tie it to the desk. Until my contacts are done, I can't get up. Can you imagine if you had to tie yourself to your desk?
Yeah.
At least for 50 minutes. 50. 50 minutes you tie yourself to your desk. And you don't have your cell phone on you. You're not checking your email. How many contacts could you make? Every single hour. Mm-hmm. We get in our way of our own success. So, Mate, are you ready? You have your 5 minutes to shine, baby. Yes. What did you want me to cover? I love how he's so prepared for his presentation today. So it is caring. Caring. Genuinely caring about the prospect and what they're looking to do. Go.
You pick me?
I picked you. This is all staged, by the way.
So simply, I mean, how many of us got into this business for commission?
Who am I? We work together. My name is Mate Granic, originally from Serbia. I don't speak Spanish. I did develop my career here by prospecting. I have a license for 11 years. I am doing this full time for 9+ years, and I've been averaging 25 to 30 closings a year. Most of 1/3 of those are expired, especially at the beginning. It was even more than 30%. Now I develop my book of business, sphere of influence, so I don't call expires and for sale by owners like I used to. Yet I still follow up, obviously. I set up one from 2018 because he was in my follow-up. But all I was doing is calling him every 3 months. Now, what I did learn early in my career, that we have to care for people, not to care about ourselves and not to care about our commission. So like earlier this morning, I spoke with a gentleman that I ended up listing his house, but he never went on the market. Yet he told me, Mate, the only reason I hired you, but I ended up selling another property that he had in Doral. So just to put it out there. The only reason I hired you is because every time you call me, you ask me if I'm still thinking about moving to Tampa, because that was his goal. I didn't ask him, hey, are you ready to list? Are you ready to sell? And a lot of agents, you'll be surprised how many agents, when they have conversation, they sound, what? They sound transactional. They don't sound relationship-based. So, and I have a great group of people that I work with. It's 4 of us here. And constantly we talk about that foundation of how we can make that best first impression. Where, like Chris mentioned, why are you thinking about selling? So it's not about transaction. It's about, for me, honestly, for me, it's easy. I have an accent. I didn't know a lot of people here, so all I had to do was prospect. So it was very simple solution. Like, what do I have to do in order to succeed in this business? Like you heard about Vikings, just burn the ship and you're going to conquer the island. So that's what happened to me. And I'm sure, I mean, there's a lot of great people in this room. And quite frankly, I see the same trait. Like, for example, Vinny, the guy is averaging 100 to 115 conversations every single week after week after week. So, is there something specific you wanted to tell me about caring? It just putting people, it's so simple. It's like putting people instead of profit first. That's it. And making sure that you are doing the best for the prospect. And if it's not, like I had so many, you're not gonna like this, but so many people I spoke out of selling because they didn't have a clue what they're gonna do with the money. And then when I calculate, okay, well, if it was investment property, you have to pay Uncle Sam 15–20% in capital gains. This is how much you're gonna stay with. What are you gonna do? If I give you this type of money today, what are you gonna do? And if they don't have clue, okay, let's go and do asset performance test, see how much this property can generate as a passive income. Not really passive, but let's keep it as investment. So many people I spoke out of selling because they didn't have clue. Or if the numbers don't work out well, if the current investment is not performing at very least 5%, 6%, I tell them like, okay, if we sell this, this is what you can buy, so you can generate more passive income. On top of that, what do you get when you purchase a new investment property? You get depreciation for 27.5 years again, which is a great tool to preserve wealth. Am I going too deep into this?
It happens.
Okay, sorry. So there are multiple benefits of investing in real estate. What are those? Depreciation. Appreciation.
Passive income.
Cash flow. And then if you have the loan, principal reduction. So those four. But let's go back to carrying because I can feel Chris stabbing me.
I love the segue to his flipping class.
Yeah. And also, like, if you don't feel confident in certain type of property or certain type of seller, partner with someone. Find an agent that has more experience and is going to mentor you. Why? Because it's much better to get 50% of something than try to get 100% of nothing. Like, even nowadays, if I go to certain areas and there's seller 5 to 10 million, I'm going to bring one of the luxury agents that has more experience than I am. Why? Because I know it's going to be better for this prospect.
Thank you, Mate.
You can ask for wisdom.
Yes. So one of the things that he said that I said, remember when I said that there was 3 things that I heard you say? One I didn't mention. One is that he set 2 appointments out of 11 calls. That can and will happen. I know that that's not your average on every single 11 calls. But that can happen when you're very well versed in scripted. And I think that the key is knowing what you're going to say. There's no way he could have set 2 appointments out of 11 if he was thinking about scripts. He is the script. He could do that in the middle of the night. I could ask him whatever, give him whatever objection. It's going to come flying right out of his mouth. And that's the key, is knowing what to say all of the time. Most of the time. Because sometimes we get the screwball stuff that pops up that there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to roll with it.
What's the best way of learning what to say like that? Consistently practicing?
Definitely practicing, whether you write the same objection out, 5, 10 times with the handler. Index cards, like my wife mentioned earlier, we had index cards where we'd be driving, she'd read me the objection, and she'd just go through like the set of objections, and I'd fire off the handlers. So you chant, write, practice by yourself, role play groups. If you want to be part of a role play group, I don't care where you are in this country, including Boston, she has a role play group that you could jump into. You jump into the role play group every morning. I'll jump back to you. Every morning, she sets you up in a Zoom, with a little Zoom room, or however she sets it up, and you have a role play partner every single day. So practicing and role playing is going to be your base. Barclay.
I don't know if everybody heard of Phil Jones. He has a book called Exactly What to Say, and then he also had a game card where you can actually get the game card and play it along with people so you can learn exactly what to say with objection. That's something that we do too.
So Phil Jones books Exactly What to Say. That's his awesome. So at this time, if I could call our second amazing sponsor to the front of the room. Let's all give a round of applause for Rise Mortgage.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Oh, is that it? Okay. How you guys doing? Good. Thanks for having me, Chris. I'm going to leave some koozies up here. I don't know if anybody has alcohol with them or not, but some koozies and some mouse pads. So thanks again for having me. It's great to see Chris using his expertise to help realtors and sharpen their tools and teach them how to prospect and get people on the phone. So obviously that's probably the most important thing for a realtor to do to get business, right? A big part of that also is once you get them on the phone and you're working with them, maybe not so much sellers, but at some point they might become buyers. But I'm sure some of you also want to work with buyers, and that's where the mortgage part really comes in. Mortgages, unfortunately, are pretty boring. So I won't sit up here and tell you 1,000 different things about mortgages. It's just more to introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about what we do and kind of how we stand out. So Rise Mortgage was born last year, and it's a very unique hybrid platform that allows for wholesale and retail, which basically means the best of both worlds under one roof. For a long time, the retail platform, which is like in-house underwriting processing, was like the thing. And then since COVID forward, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of UWM and Rocket, which is more on the broker side. So you used to have to choose one or the other, and now we're able to build a hybrid platform. It's one of the few ones out there in the country, very unique, that gives you the ability to do that. And with that comes close to 100 different investors when it comes to, a 40-something on one side and like 50-something on the other side. So bottom line, it gives the opportunity to make sure we find the product for your client. Anything as far as, FHA conventional VA, which you guys have heard of, to extremely creative non-QM products, hard money, pretty much everything under the sun. The one thing they all require is credit, except for hard money. Of course, it's all asset-based. We do a lot of hard money. We're probably doing 35% of our business right now is non-QM, which is bank statement loans, DSCRs for investors. Just a lot of no verification income, which in South Florida is extremely popular. So that's what we do. But the other side of it, the more important part of it is Bessie and myself have been in the business since the early 2000s. We've been working, ever since. We do nothing else. We don't know anything else. And we really strive to provide the best service and have the most knowledge. And at the end of the day, I think that's what sets us apart. And you want a lender that's going to pick up the phone, that's going to be able to help you, your client, feel comfortable. And get them to the closing table, but get them to the closing table with a solution and, of course, with a happy experience. And I think that's the biggest difference, and that's the main message, for us, is to have happy clients get to the closing table. Mortgages are very difficult. There's a lot of hurdles. How many of you have ever had a hurdle throughout a mortgage process? Never. 100%. So, unfortunately, what usually happens out in our business in this, at least in South Florida, is lenders won't pick up the phone. They'll hide. They'll blame somebody else. They'll wait till the day before the closing to tell you there's a problem. So, we really pride ourselves on finding solutions, getting over hurdles, because anything can happen. Marcus Barrios is an agent I've worked with for 15 years or so. And he's one of the most experienced in this market. So, he can attest to it. But we've had problems. We have had hurdles, and it happens. Whether it's borrower inflicted, whether it's lender inflicted. The important thing is finding the solution. So I'm sure all of you know a lender or work with a lender, but if you have any opportunities that come up, you want to give us a shot, you have any tough deals that are falling apart somewhere else, or maybe your lender's just not being as competitive as you want them to be. I know you probably get phone calls from your borrowers. You refer a lender, the buyer calls you back and says, man, this guy's rates are just high. Something like that. We're always available for a second opinion. And, quickly and properly pre-approve buyers, I think, is really important. I mean, I feel like I've been saying this since early 2000s, but it's the reality. You don't want to invest your time with a buyer and then find out, however, a long time later that they don't qualify and the deal just doesn't go anywhere. That could be really frustrating. So that's what we do. Anybody have any questions or just general comments or questions about the market or what we're seeing on the lending side? You guys have anything for me as far as that? Yes, sir.
Do you have a product for the homeowner that is behind the payments and has issue with the credit?
Hard money.
Hard money?
Yeah. Once you have, I mean, if it's a 30-day late, we could probably, on the conventional side, I know on the FHA side, you probably can, maybe even a 60. But once you have multiple mortgage lates, pretty much there's not a product out there that's going to go for it besides hard money. Or you just wait the time period for it to get past that seasoning requirement. Yeah, that's a good question. Like I said, credits obviously plays a huge role in the products, but there's always hard money, which we do quite a bit of. And the LTVs on hard money are usually, around 65, 70. And then there's 100% financing options out there right now as well through FHA with certain programs. There's good DPAs. Have you guys heard of Hometown Heroes? Yeah, so that supposedly was going to start in July. It didn't. Oh no, did it start, Bessie, or not yet? No, not officially. Right, it's about to. They kind of revamped the guidelines. At first, it was first responders, and then it turned into everybody, and now it's back to first responders. So it does require a particular title, but it's a fantastic product to move the market. And obviously incentivize people to purchase. It gives them up to 5% of the loan amount. I want to say up to like $30-something thousand. Yeah, so that's really good. So we're going to leave our contact information around. If you guys, ever want to chat about the market, about questions, about mortgages, we're here for you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
All right, guys. Thank you, Chris. You want that? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
So I'm going to say the same thing with him as I did with consumer. If you are exclusive to one lender, give him a shot. 1 out of every 5, 1 out of every 10 deals, and you'll see how he works. It's like when I have a plumber, a contractor, anybody else. I never have just one. I've got 2 or 3 because you never know when that key person just fails you. And he mentioned something that's making me think. Who has ever had a buyer that says, just go show me some homes. I'll get pre-qualified later. And what happens when they find the house and you send them to the lender? They can't qualify for the house. My thing is, if I'm gonna work with a buyer, which I typically don't, but if I were to work with a buyer, why don't you want to be screened? Don't you want to know how much down payment you need? Don't you want to know what your monthly payment's going to be? How much cash you need out of pocket? And as Mate was saying, as far as talking people out of, doing a transaction, when I was in the mortgage business many, many years ago, I'd tell the person the mortgage payment, they're like, I can't pay you that. Well, if you're an agent, I can't show you homes. Why are you showing somebody a home that they can't afford? Or know how much they need to come out of pocket with? So it's key. Use someone like the gentleman back there, get him in the mix, get somebody pre-approved, and he's going to tell you right away, they're spinning your wheels. So, thank you. So we're going to jump into the role play, and I'd like to get in 2 more prospecting sessions at a minimum today. So we're going to do another role play, and the newer agents that are in the room, put your hand up. New agents to prospecting, let's call it. Mate.
Yes.
The first hand up back there is yours. You're going to role play with her. Barclay. That's mother and daughter back there, by the way. I thought that was her sister. Mother and daughter. That's what I said. Okay, other hands up. Marcus.
Yeah.
Anna. You, her. Who else in prospects? Vinny. This gentleman right here. If I call you a new prospector, but yes, leave your hand up. Who else prospects often? Michael. That gentleman there. Everybody else good? And if you can, just find another partner. We'll do role play for 10 minutes.